Hey guys, how's it going? It's Ollie here from CryptoVest.com. It is the 7th of January today, and we're going to be looking at Litecoin trading against the US dollar over one-day candles. And as you can see, the main question of the day, is this the bottom? Have we seen the bottom for Litecoin? There's an inverse head and shoulders pattern that people are starting to pick up on. We're now starting to retrace back to some key Fibonacci levels, and everything seems to be moving in a good direction, and it seems to be like this is one of the first sort of positive signs we've seen for Litecoin in a very, very long time. And I think this could be the bottom. I think there's some strong signals to suggest that this is the case, particularly if we scroll all the way back and we look at Litecoin all the way back to when it started to fall and really crashed from its all-time high in December, where we were up at around, let's get rid of this for a second, up at around like $380 I think we hit when it was at all-time high, something like that. Yeah, as you can see, somewhere up here like $370. As you can see, looking at the chart over one-day candles, it's a pretty sad story. You can see very, very little bullish pushback against the long bear market we've had throughout 2018, particularly from May, after we had some pushback going through February, then we had that crash in March, picked up through April, then we had a big crash through May. And particularly for Litecoin, it broke through its descending triangle pattern resistance at around the sort of $90 mark, well, actually around this $112 mark, and then just sort of unraveled from there. And as you can see, looking at the price action, there's not been a great deal of positive signs of recovering or any sort of patterns to get excited about until very recently, where we have this inverse head and shoulders pattern. So that's why it sort of seems very, very important right now, and why a lot of people are getting excited about it. And could this be the bottom? So yeah, $22 was the low, and as you can see, if we look at the swing high to swing low, it's tracking very nicely to the Fibonacci levels right now, particularly sort of using the 236 as a support to launch the right shoulder through the neckline, and now we're kind of struggling against this 0.5 Fib level at $39. So just as we're, or 39.94, so 6 cents shy of $40. As you can see, looking at the wicks above the candles, we have broken into that $40 range very briefly, although we've had a lot of increased selling pressure at that point, pushing the asset down again. So this is going to be a very, very key level. And if we look at the Ishimoku indicator as well, you can see why there's added pressure on the bulls now, and why there's a little bit of uncertainty what's going on right now. Because as you can see, looking at the one-day Ishimoku, the asset is so close now to breaking above the one-day resisting Kumo cloud. And if you remember looking back, we had the Litecoin TA on the 17th of December, I think we looked at this asset last. We looked at it over 4-hour candles, and it had just broken through the resisting Kumo on the 4-hour. Hadn't quite gotten anywhere near the one day, but catching up with it now a couple of weeks later, you can see that we're now just about to break through this. And this is a very, very positive sign if we can, but it's just an overlapping amount of resistances right now. You've got the resisting Kumo, the 0.5, and the $40 psychological resistance. But if bulls can kind of collect now after this correction and push on again, I think this will be a very, very positive sign for Litecoin. We just need that confirmation of candles closing above the 0.5 Fib level to go off on. And then once we have that, obviously you'll be looking at just general Fib level targets, the 0.618, the 0.786. And we'd really like to see it break above the 1. In fact, if we bring up the 50-200 EMA lines, we're a long way away before we see a golden crossover on the one-day chart. But if we look at the 4-hour chart, you can see that we've already had the golden crossover early on now. I think it happened a couple of days ago on January 2nd. And if you traded this signal, so if you caught the bounce here at the low and you traded at the top, you'd have had a 28% gain. So these golden crossovers really do deliver on some really promising gains, particularly if the 50 EMA passes really high through the 200 EMA. What you don't want is a slight overlapping, because it's very easy for the 50 EMA to then drop back below the 200 EMA. What you want is this kind of nice high spiking line through the 200 EMA, which we have here. And you also want candles to climb high above the 50 EMA line. You don't really want these two to meet again. And if we start to see candles drop towards the 50 EMA, maybe it'll be an early sign that bullish momentum is declining and that we're losing sort of altitude. But for now, everything's looking very, very positive. There's a long wick beneath the current candle on 4 hours, which is a good sign that bulls are now starting to snap up the lower lows and are trying to push the asset back, although it does seem that we're obviously getting a lot of bearish selling pressure at this particular level. So yeah, overall looking pretty positive, particularly going into the rest of this week. It's by far the best performing cryptocurrency in the top 10 right now. We had obviously Bitcoin broke into $4,000 late last night. The US dollar value of the crypto market has started to improve. But actually, if you swap across to BTC, there's only a few that are actually really doing well against Bitcoin. But there's a lot of positive things coming out for Litecoin at the moment to kind of keep momentum going. They've recently announced that there's now 100 active nodes on the Litecoin Lightning Network. And they've also, Litecoin was recently involved in sponsoring a UFC event to kind of promote brand awareness, which I think is a really good move, actually. I mean, people go to these events because they like the action, they like fighting, and there's plenty of that in the crypto community. So I think it's a natural fit. And hopefully that will bring some more people to the cause and hopefully increase mainstream adoption of this particular cryptocurrency. So yeah, overall looking very, very good. Keep an eye out for those Fibonacci levels, and obviously all eyes on that 0.5 level right now. We want to make sure that the candles are able to close above that. If they start to dip and it passes back onto this 0.382, then potentially we may see an extended bear market before we see any sort of pushback. But the inverse head and shoulders is a very positive start, so hopefully that will deliver on the promise. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know if you're bullish or bearish for Litecoin. Please check out the full TA at cryptovest.com. And yeah, please subscribe, guys. Nice one. Thank you.